Hey, thanks for your interest in our service. I'm just going to cover a little bit more about the logistics around how this all works. So firstly, as I had mentioned before, we do provide real addresses from real people. We're essentially like an address broker that manages relationships with people across the US, Canada, UK, and Australia. Now, essentially, we use Craigslist, Indeed. In Canada, we use Kijiji, Gumtree in Australia and the UK, and sometimes we'll use Facebook and Upwork if necessary. Now, regarding the payment schedule, first, it's going to be a $50 deposit for each address, which is either transferable or refundable if we can't get you the verification code. The remainder is due when we do get you the verification code. So now I'm going to cover our guarantees. As I mentioned before, we guarantee the verification code. This means that if for whatever reason the recipient stops answering, they're not interested anymore, maybe they've moved, or the postcard was sent to the wrong address, we'll replace the address until we can get the code for you. Now, we do find that with postcard verification, there is a 100% stick rate, meaning that once the GBP goes live, it will not suspend. Now, you still don't want to change the name, the category, the phone number, or the website. Now, if you enter a code and it happens to suspend, we still have to charge for it because the same amount of time and money was spent to get that code. That being said though, if you follow our best practices, we can guarantee the best chances for success. And if a suspension were to occur, there is still a recourse. We have a reinstatement service, and we only charge if the GBP is successfully reinstated. So regarding our best practices, we recommend using a domain-based Google account on an IP address such as a VPS. If you don't know what that means, that's all good, because we actually have some supporting documentation to help you along with the process. So when you start working with us, we send you the terms of service, which is a written agreement of everything we just talked about before. We'll also give you a step-by-step guide for GBP creation. There's also videos on how to use the different IP services, a video on how to create a domain-based Google account, and we actually have a checklist for basically it's a location landing page optimization checklist, meaning the website that you associate to your GBP can be optimized, and this is an aggregation of all the courses I've taken in the past. All right, so lastly, I'm just going to cover how all this works exactly. As I had mentioned before, the first thing you do is fill out the order form. Next, you're going to pay your deposit, and at that point, we're going to send you a support package and provide any support that you need in creating your GBPs. So of course, you then create your GBPs. We're going to give you the address. You send out the postcard. At that point, we wait maybe a week, sometimes two. We get the code back. Then you pay the balance at that point there. You enter the code and then verify your GBP. From the recipient's perspective, when you first send out the postcard, we're going to send them a notification letting them know it's going to arrive within 7 to 10 days. At day 6, a reminder is sent out to them with a picture of the actual postcard so they know what they're looking for. We give them about 4 days to then receive the postcard. If they still haven't received it at that point, we try resending it. If necessary, sometimes we'll recommend creating a duplicate GBP on a different IP address with a different Google account, but with all the same information. So the same description, the same phone number, the same URL, etc. And we found that there's actually a higher success rate. Creating the duplicate and getting the postcard sent on that one, and now you have 2 chances of getting the postcard to arrive rather than just 1. So if you're ready to move forward, fill out your order form and contact us so we can send you the invoice for the deposit by email. We use Stripe so you can pay by credit card.